What's up, guys? Welcome. This is the Off the Clock podcast where I talk about anything and everything. Hello, my name is Gavin, and this is Off the Clock, first episode. Today I'm with Evan Hamilton. Evan, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am so glad you invited me here today, Gavin. I'm excited.
All right, my friend. Tell us like a little bit about yourself. Where you grew up, you know, where you go to school, what your interests and hobbies are, and then we'll get
Well,
right into
I
it.
I've lived in the same house my whole life, in Fort Mill, South Carolina. I was born and raised there all 18 years until I got sent off to college. Now I go to the University of South Carolina and I major in chemical engineering. And I am in my first semester of junior year.
Hell yeah. Love that, bro. Today I want to talk about your gym and your fitness, progression, how you got into it. So let's start from the beginning. Like how did you get into the gym life?
Well, I really got into it from football. I started going to the gym. I was a freshman. I would see all the seniors. They were all built and big, and I really wanted to look like them. So I really started going to the gym after practice and after our football lifts. And I put on a bunch of weight the first couple of years, and then um, it kind of started slowing down. And then I really learned how to eat right and train right. So it's kind of picking back up again on my fourth year now, and it's just something I love doing. So
Sweet, bro. So I, as an athlete myself, when I first went to the gym, I definitely had a little bit of like, I wouldn't say fear, but maybe some anxiety about other people judging me and whatnot. So was there ever anything like that for you? Was there ever any anxiety?
well, when I first started, no, because I went with my original group of friends every night. There was about three or four of us there every single night, and it was super late, so we were pretty much the only people there. So there wasn't much anxiety about it at the time. But after the group kind of stopped going together and I went by myself, yeah, of course there was anxiety at the beginning, but you just keep going, and then you realize you know what you're doing, and then or you figure out what you're doing, you learn about it more, and then you get more confident in the gym, and then the anxiety and fear kind of goes away, especially when you start to see progress. And the first year you go to the gym is the most progress you'll see probably ever in your whole gym career, I guess you could say.
Sweet. So, all right. I do have some questions about what you're currently at because you said you're in year four. You know, obviously you have a pretty successful TikTok page. Just walk us through like your routine when it comes to the gym. Like, how often do you train? How do you split up your muscle groups by day? And how do you balance lifting with school and even an outside job?
Yeah, okay. So I actually don't have a job right now. I'm trying to focus
Neither
mainly
do
on
I,
school and the
so
gym.
I understand.
My parents asked me to not so that I could focus on class and stuff and try and get the good grades I need. But um, so I'm gonna start off with my routine. My routine before okay, so I just recently got a coach, so my routine is a lot different than it has been for the past few years. So do you want me to talk about the routine I have now or the routine that I
Yeah, build it up
did
through
before?
the build. So let's start with what you used to do, and then how your coach might have changed that. Then, eh?
So I've really been lifting for about 4 years and 6 months. So for the last 4 years, I would go to the gym 6 days a week and have one rest day, and I would do a routine. It would be like Monday was chest and triceps, and Tuesday was back and biceps, and Wednesday was legs and shoulders, and then I would repeat that cycle for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Mm.
And then I would take the rest day and I would just keep repeating every single week. And I would do cardio towards the end of my workouts. I would do about 4 to 5 exercises per muscle group. And then recently, when I got a coach, he told me I need to go to the gym 5 days a week and have 2 rest days.
Mm-hmm.
So the way my split is set up is it's not like a day by like a Monday I got this, Tuesday I got that. It's a cycle. 3-day cycle. So I have
Okay.
on the first day it's chest and arms, so that would be chest, triceps, and biceps. And for biceps and triceps, I have 2 exercises per muscle group, and then chest is about 4 or 5. And then on the next day, I have back and shoulders, and I have about 6 movements for back, and then 2 movements for shoulders. But I usually add something like an extra shoulder movement because I don't think 2 is enough.
Yeah.
And then the next day would be legs. So right now I'm really trying to build up my hamstrings because it's kind of a weak point. So I have a quad focus day, but I still do a little bit of
And
hamstrings.
this is for bodybuilding, correct?
That's right.
Yes. All right. Sweet.
And then for the second leg day, for the second part of the cycle, it's hamstring focused, like really hamstring focused.
Oof.
So
That's gotta kill.
and then yeah, I just had to do that today. That's what I just did, and it sucked.
Dude, hamstrings are the worst.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I mean, clearly you go to the gym a lot. So my question, because I know I have a few as well, but do you have any like gym pet peeves or like any funny stories? Because I know for me, I used to hate it when you would get like the influencers who would come in and record themselves, but they're in the middle of the gym. Like, come on, dude, let's like maybe move out the way a little bit. You know what I mean? But what about
Yeah,
you?
that's true. I
Especially
think my
as a
pet peeve.
content creator. Sorry, especially as a content creator that you are.
I think my pet peeve would be like I'm walking around in the gym, like trying to go find my next exercise, and there's like some kid who obviously just doesn't. He's not there to work out. He's just there to
Goof
either
around.
try and talk to girls or talk to anybody really. But he's not working out, and he's taking up a machine, and he's just on it for 30 minutes, and he's not even working out. He's not even using it. That's probably my biggest pet peeve.
Mm,
But
you got the
or
casual
whenever
gym
he's like,
goers.
yeah, or when people take off their shirts in the middle of the gym, like it's a public gym and they're like flexing in the mirror.
Yeah.
And none of the people that do that are, at a size where they should be doing that.
No,
It
I get
sounds
it.
mean, but stop flexing in the mirror, dude. Go work out.
Yeah, the gym etiquette. It's an interesting culture. I love the gym culture personally. I mean, I'm not like a bodybuilder by any means. I train for sports and whatnot, but I do want to ask you because lifting and just consistently going to the gym definitely had an effect on my mentality, and it taught me a lot of disciplines that I carry over into everyday life and maybe even some of the sports that I do. But how has lifting changed your mentality, and what disciplines has it taught you?
Well, so I think it's changed my mentality by it just really it made me more confident in myself and my ability to
Mm,
do things. Like if I can put on weight, and I don't think like I think it's very hard, but especially since I got this coach, he's walking me through it. I know I can do it and it is possible. So I think I'm more confident now in my abilities to do things, not just in the gym, but in everyday life. As far as like discipline goes, yeah, I mean it's a journey and you got to be super disciplined, but it really just depends on how bad you want it. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
To be honest, I've made the gym like a habit. So if I don't go,
Mm.
it's like I got this itch in the back of my mind, like I have to go, I need to go. That's so when you make it a habit like that, even on days that you don't want to go, you still feel like you have to go. So that's what discipline is in my eyes.
And I would say even to a certain extent, especially you and my roommate, seeing as you guys are great friends, shout out Easton. You guys like just you obviously seem to enjoy the gym, which is another thing. I feel like you have to fall in love with the journey more than the end result because a lot of people chase results. And when you chase the results, you never end up getting to where you want to be because you don't see progress after like a week or two, and you're like, man, I'm just gonna give up. But I want to ask you about your lifting coach because it seems he's came in and he's kind of overhauled the training, and it seems like you're seeing a lot of benefits. How did you guys meet, and who is he?
So, we met through a friend of the gym I go to here in South Carolina. It's called the Brick House. My
Hell yeah.
friend's name is Tyler, and he recommended my coach, whose name is Jake, and his name is Jake Vandersdale, and the program is called 413 Physiques. Yeah, so we met through him, and we've had a couple lifts together, and he thinks I have really good potential. So that really makes me confident.
I mean, sometimes all you need really is just that guy who believes in you and is willing to work with you, right? Um,
That's right.
yeah, because I live with a lot of the rugby boys on campus, so it's never very hard to find somebody who's willing to push you and try and get you to be that extra percent better every day. So I guess my question for you would be, what is something that you learned along the way that you just completely didn't like, you misconceived it when you first started going to the gym? I guess to ask that question in a better way, what are things that surprised you about gym life?
When I first started, I would see people like David Lade or John Skywalker. You know, all those
Mm-hmm.
they were super famous back in the day, and this was before gym culture was as big as it is today. Um, I didn't think that was possible to attain something like that, like a body like that. But since I've been going, I've learned that it's like it takes a long time, but it is worth it. And I think what really surprised me is that time flies, especially
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're in the gym like that and you keep going every single day. You don't think that you're seeing progress in the moment, but then you look back a couple years and you're like, whoa, I look way different. So I think what surprised me the most is that physiques like that are attainable through time. So
Yeah. All right, so then I'm gonna. So for a lot of beginners who go to the gym, a lot of people go in and they don't know what to do, or maybe they're a little bit scared. What's a tip you would recommend to people who start their fitness journey, and then what's a common mistake that they should avoid making?
So I think if people are worried about what other people think of them, like they don't know what they're doing or they're judging them, what they're wearing, like what their headphones look like, stuff like that, nobody really cares though. Like everybody's in the
Mm-hmm.
gym to make themselves better. So if I see somebody in there that doesn't know what they're doing, I'm proud of them. Like I'm like this guy, he really wants to make himself better. Like even sometimes I can even tell if they're embarrassed, and I'm like, I really wish he wasn't. And so my advice would just be just you got to realize nobody cares like what you look like. Everybody's doing their own thing in there, and if they do care, then they're insecure in themselves. So you don't really want to care about what their opinion is, anyways.
Nah, yes, I mean, couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest. I uh I want to ask you, is there anything that you wish you had known when you first started that you know now that you were like, dang, if I had known this back in the day, dude, I would have been a completely different animal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely nutrition and diet. And
That's a big
nutrition and
one.
diet is
Yeah,
it's like 80 to 90% of what it takes to
that's what
have a
takes me
good
out,
physique.
bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so I wish I knew that when I first started. And also when I first started, um, you see all these people online, they're super lean, you can see
Mm-hmm.
all the definition of muscles. But so what I did when I first started is it's called a cutting phase. Instead of a bulking phase, which I should have done because I was really skinny and small, I did a cutting phase and I just tried to get as lean as I could, but I was super skinny, super weak, super frail. So I wish I did a bulking phase. I wish I bulked a lot more whenever I first started around like 15 and 16 because when you're that age, you put on muscle a lot better because
Mm.
your muscles are still growing. You're still going through that kind of like post puberty phase. So you won't get fat, and I think that's what I would have changed.
So for first of all, to clarify, cutting and bulking is just the process of eating food, building muscle as well as you gain weight, and then cutting all the fat, right? That's what that is. That's the
That's right.
process.
That's right. So bulking is whenever you're trying to gain weight, you're trying to put on muscle, but that's another thing about nutrition is when you're bulking, you don't want to just shove your face with fatty foods and stuff like that. You can do it in a good way. You stay lean and you put on quality muscle. So that was my thing last year is whenever I was bulking, I just ate a bunch of fast food and I just stuffed my face. And I,
Dude,
I got up to 215 pounds, but it wasn't good. I was chubby. This year I'm doing a lot better. I'm still pretty lean and I'm at 202 right now.
nice,
200.
bro. So So you're training to be a bodybuilder. Is there any chance of us seeing you on the stage anytime soon? Like, how far out do you think you are from maybe trying to enter some competitions? I'm assuming you're staying natty while you're in college, right? Or just maybe
Yeah, that's
permanently?
right. At least while I'm in college, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm planning on competing this summer. That will be my
Really?
first competition. Yeah, I'm excited to see what I look like, especially like at my peak, like lean body fat percentage. I've never really seen that, so that'll be a new look.
So for the people who don't know, how do bodybuilding? Because I don't know. I've never really been into the sport of bodybuilding. Like I've seen it clips on YouTube every now and then, but how does it actually work? Like what are the classifications for being a good bodybuilder versus like a great bodybuilder?
Genetics play a huge role in how well you'll
Mm.
do in bodybuilding. Like muscle insertions, you're just born with that, and there's not much you can do about it. But you can do things to help it. Like if your chest insertions are a little small or like not ideal for a bodybuilding physique, you can really put on size. You can target chest a lot with your activities and exercises in the gym, and you can really fill it out so that the insertions that you have, if they're not good, you can kind of you can fill it out, and then the bad insertions won't be as noticeable. But
Mm-hmm.
another thing that what's the word, the difference between a good and a great bodybuilder is good bodybuilders, they do it because they want to. I think great bodybuilders do it because they feel like they have to. They love it. They love the
Mm-hmm.
sport. That's the difference.
All right.
Want to versus need to. I think that's the difference.
Well, I mean, hey man, this has been super fun, really enjoyable. I'm really excited to see how well you'll go for this summer. Please keep me posted. I'm sure everyone listening would also like to, stay involved and follow along on your journey. Do you want to plug your social medias right now or like anything?
Yeah, sure, man. I'll say my TikTok. If your life was a movie. My TikTok is it's Evan Hamilton, but instead of the L, it's an I.
Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Off the Clock podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow and share it with someone who would like it. I'll see all you guys next time.